بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Okay, today we're gonna start with the conversation. No, let's start with the. We said we're gonna start with the other book as a default, right? But since we didn't do any of the conversation yesterday, we're gonna start with the conversation, inshallah, and then we're gonna go back to the book. Class start, right? Did we we finish this one? We didn't reach here. Samakun wa lahmun. We finished this one, right?
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
Yeah, we had that page left.
Okay. Okay, here's where we stop. So this is the Al-Hiwar al-Thalith from the fifth unit, or Al-Wahda Al-Khamisa. Then we have Al-Hiwar al-Thalith, the third conversation. Unzur wastami' wa'a'id. Look, listen, and repeat. So here is a conversation between Az-Zawj and Az-Zawja. Right, a conversation between Az-Zawj and Az-Zawja. Az-Zawj, who is Az-Zawj?
Wife, husband.
In this context, the Zawj is the who?
Husband.
Is the husband. And the Zawja is the wife. But just to note, this word, Az-Zawj, the official original meaning is one part of a pair, any part, right? Anything that comes in a pair, one of those pair is a Zawj. So for husband and wife, the Zawj is any one out of the pair. So it's going to be, this more accurate translation going to be spouse, right? Because spouse can be a husband or wife, right? So that's the official meaning of the word Zawj, and that's how it's used in the Quran. Now the plural for Zawj can be Azwaj, spouses, can refer to both husbands, or it can refer to both wives. A lot of people think that Azwaj means husbands only. And if you want to say wives, you say Zawjat. Now, if you say Zawjat, it's going to be specifically the female part of the pair. And the husband and wife, it's going to be the wife, right? Wives. But Azwaj is can also be wives, and it can also be husbands, right? And that's the usage in the Quran. So the husband can point to the wife and say, Hadihi zawji. Now by using Hadihi, you know it's going to be, this is my wife. And the wife can point to the husband and say, Hada zawji. This is my husband, right? The Hada, if you're not seeing who is speaking, the Hada and the Hadihi going to make it clear, right? In that example. right? Like in the story of Zakaria, right? Was Zakaria إذ نادى ربه رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين, right? فاستجبنا له ووهبنا له يحيى وأصلحنا له زوجه, right? أصلحنا له زوجه. We rectify for him his wife, right? What happened to his wife? Remember, his wife was she was barren. She couldn't have what was it? Give birth. She couldn't have become pregnant, right? If you're barren, I mean you can't get pregnant. So Allah cured her. So that's one example where the singular zawj referring to the wife clearly, right? And with regards to azwaj, is, in the famous verse of the hijab, Ya ayyuhan nabi, kul, uli, last Surah Ahzab, kulli azwajika wa banatika wa nisa'il mu'minin, right? Say to your azwaj, right? Say to your wives. Say to your wives and your daughters and the women of the believer. And that's a very common misconception, strangely, because the Quran clearly mentions these words, that people think that zawj can only be used for the male or azwaj is only for the male. So, but if you use zawja, then definitely it's going to be the wife because of the ta marbuta, but it's not a classical, what is known in the classical usage of the word. الزوج أنا جوعان جدا أنا جوعان جدا أنا جوعان جدا. Jaw'an means hungry, right? I am hungry. Jiddan means very. Jiddan means very. And just remind me, right, at least before the class finish, if I don't do it, to correct something with regards to what I mentioned about Jiddan. One. Now, Jaw'an is among the words, some words in Arabic don't take tanween, right? They don't take tanween, fatha, dhamma, nor kasra. This is one of them. Right? Don't worry about why at this moment. So I'm very hungry. الزوجة الغداء على المائدة. الغداء على المائدة. Ghada is lunch, right? The lunch is on the table. The lunch is on the table, right? Everyone knows Ma'idah, right? Surah Al-Ma'idah. A Ma'idah generally refer to a dining table, generally, right? A table with meal. That's why they ask for a Ma'idah. Also, it can refer to even a spread. Sometimes, you know, the spread that you put the food on can also be a Ma'idah, refer to a Ma'idah. A Zawj, the husband, he say, ما هذا سمك ولحم ودجاج وأرز وفاكهة. ما هذا, right? What is this? Now here he's not really asking he is more what do you call it? It's an exclamation, right? It's a question, but it's not meant to be answered. It's more an exclamation. Yeah, an exclamation expression, right? ما هذا, what is this? سمك ولحم ودجاج وأرز وفاكهة. Fish and meat and chicken and rice and fruits. هذا كثير جدا, right? هذا كثير جدا. This is a lot, right? Very, a lot, very plenty. Right? Kathir means by itself means a lot, means plenty, or it can mean many, depending on the context. And jiddan, right, emphasize that, right? This is very plentiful, very Yeah, very plentiful. So it seems that he wants to start to eat. And the zawja, the wife, she said, La ta'kul, la ta'kul. Right? Don't eat, don't eat. Right? La ta'kul, la ta'kul. الزوج لماذا لا تأكل don't eat. Right? لا تأكل don't eat. You're prohibiting someone from doing something. الزوج لماذا أنا جوعان. Why? I am hungry. الزوج أنا جوعان. I am hungry. الزوجة لدينا ضيوف. لدينا ضيوف. لدينا means
Yes.
no, لدينا. We did لدينا. We have, right? لدينا means we have. Now this word can be used to show we have, or it can use to show with us. It can mean with or to or have. By the word by itself, you write it like this. Ladder. Right? The word by itself, you write it like this with a, what do you call it? Alif maksura. Right? It's not a ya. You call it the alif maksura. Now, anytime you have an alif maksura, if you add a pronoun to it, it becomes ya. So, we have ladayna. Right? Ladayna. I have gonna be ladayya. Right? He have ladayhi. Now it can means to have or it can means with. So all of them, it can mean with me or with us or with him. Right? With him, with me, and with us. Right? That if you translate it as with, it might be a little more accurate than to say I have. But the general meaning is the same. Right? If you translate it as with me, with us, instead of I have, it might be a little more accurate. We're going to explain that later. So she's saying we have guests, duyuf, right? Guests, or with us are guests, right? Duyuf means the plural for daif, right? The plural for daif, the plural for guest, right? With a T, right? G-U-E-S-T, not G-U-E-S-S, right? Ladaina duyuf man, right? With us are guests, meaning we have guests. Man, who? Walidi wa walidati. Walidi wa walidati. My mother and my father. Aina duyuf. Where are the guests? Right? Fi ghurfatil julus. Fi in ghurfa, room, julus, sitting. Right? In the room of sitting. Right? In other words, in the living room. Right? As the equivalent of in the living room. Oh, sorry, I didn't switch. So, أين الضيوف? Where are the guests? في غرفة الجلوس. In the living room. In the living room. Here you have a tadrib. Tadrib means exercise, right? In the book sometimes we have tadribat, plural, exercises, right? A tadrib is a exercise. Another word they use is tamrin, right, for exercise. Tadrib, and in the book what would we use tamarin, right? Both same mean exercise. تبادل الحوار مع زميلك كما في المثال. تبادل الحوار. Now this word here, tabadal, means exchange or interchange. Al-hiwar is the conversation. Ma'a is with. Zamilik is your companion or your depend, like in this context, it's going to be your classmate, right? A zamil is a companion in a certain situation or for a certain task or for a certain work. It's not necessarily a friend. So the people who works around you, they are your zamil. So they're going to be your workmate. The people who are in your class, they're your zamil. So you can translate it as your classmate, right? So that's a zamil. So tabadal means interchange, right? Meaning you and your companion, you and one of your classmates, interchange these conversations. Kama means like, right? Kama means like. Fi in al-mithal, the example. Al-mithal means the example. Now this word is literally two words. It's ka, means as or like, and ma meaning alladhi, what or which or that, right? So kama kalladhi fil mithal, like that which is in the example, right? The literal meaning. So interchange the conversation with your classmate like what? Like that which is in the example, right? But this whole portion here, you can translate it as like or as in the example. And again, I said, right? Don't worry about how the literal meaning sung in English. That's the expression in Arabic. You translate it and express it appropriately for English. So the first mithal, so you have ta 1 and ta 2, right? What's ta 1 and ta 2? Talib wahid, the number talib wahid and talib ithnan. Right? So two students acting with each other, the first student and the second student. So one going to say, ماذا تأكل في الغداء? What do you eat in the lunch, right? What do you eat for lunch? آكل اللحم وماذا تشرب؟ أشرب الشاي. Right? And you're supposed to practice with all of these. Well, let's just go through the, so you're supposed to say what? ماذا تأكل في الفطور؟ آكل الدجاج والقهوة. Correct? There's not as in the example. Right? You're supposed to say what? آكل الدجاج. And the next student say, وماذا تشرب? What do you drink? أشرب القهوة. أشرب القهوة. Right? All of these are exercise. So you're going to write out all of these like this. Just ماذا تأكل في الغداء؟ آكل الدجاج. وماذا تشرب؟ أشرب القهوة. Right? With the meaning. Easy exercise. But the more you write it, the more you go through, it's going to aid in retaining the vocabs. Ghada is lunch. وماذا تطلب? So تبادل, another one. تبادل الحوار مع زميلك كما في المثال. Right? تبادل. Now this word ends with a sukun. But because there's a sukun here and a sukun on the al-hiwar, you put a kasra to pronounce it, right? Tabadalil. But it's officially tabadal. Right? Interchange the conversation as is in the example. Right? So here you have ماذا تطلب. So let's take, so you're going to say ماذا تطلب. بعض السمك من فضلك. So you got to say بعض الفاكهة من فضلك. That's going to mean some. بعض السمك means some fish. من فضلك, from your favor, that's the equivalence of please, right? من فضلك, please. هذا هو السمك. This is the fish. شكرا. Right? So you have that there. التدريب الثالث تبادل الحوار مع زميلك كما في المثالين. Now here is as is in the two examples. Right? They give two examples here. هل تشرب الشاي? Do you drink tea? لا أفضل القهوة. No, I prefer coffee. Right? هل تأكل اللحم? Do you eat meat? لا أفضل السمك. I prefer fish. Right? Clear. So here you're going to ask هل تأكل الأرز? Right? أرز, أرز. Right? Rice. Do you eat rice? So you say لا أفضل الخبز. No, I prefer bread. Right? So you're going to complete all of these exercises and write the English. Write it with the tashkil, memorize it, and write the English. Yeah, you can also say lil futur. With regards to the language, you can, if you use li or you use fi, both is okay. Which one? Lil fatur, right? Not lil futur. Lil fatur. Where's futur? Huh? Futur is more the masdar, not the actual meal. Maybe you can use the masdar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, qalig can work. Okay. تبادل السؤال والجواب. Okay. This one here you can do orally by yourself, but up for the writing, do up to this one here. Right? Let's take the next one. Al-ard. The presentation. Here we on the Al-Wahda As-Sadisa. Right? We on the 6th unit. Al-Wahda As-Sadisa. Al-Hiwar Al-Awwal. The first conversation. Unzur wastami' wa'a'id. Look, listen, and repeat. Now all of these are command form of the verb, right? Note all of them has a sukoon on it. Right? Anytime you command one person and that verb, it doesn't end with a weak letter. Right? You're going to see a sukoon on it. Every time you're commanding one person and the verb, it doesn't end with a weak letter nor a shadda. You're going to see a sukoon on it. But if you're commanding more than one, it's a different scenario, or the word is going to change differently. But we're gonna go through that more, inshallah.
What's an example of a command verb that ends in a weak letter?
Huh?
Command verb that ends in a weak letter.
I'ti. Come. Right? In Quran, many times the people of the prophets, they say, Fa'ti bi-ayah, right? Come with a verse. Fa'tina bi-azab. Come with the punishment. Fa'tina bima ta'iduna, right? Come with that which you are promising us. Bring it. The verb itself had officially end with a weak letter, right? At or at الحوار الأول, the first country, we finished that. Mustafa, between Mustafa and Qusay. Mustafa and Qusay. Mustafa, أين تصلي الصلوات الخمس? أين تصلي الصلوات الخمس? أين, where, تصلي, you pray, right? تصلي, you pray. Where do you pray? الصلوات الخمس, the 5 salawat. قصي أصلي الظهر والعصر والمغرب والعشاء في مسجد بلال. Right, he's saying, I pray الظهر and Asr and Maghrib and Isha in the masjid of Bilal, right? In the masjid of Bilal. Now here, mudaf ilay, right? في مسجد بلال, in the masjid of Bilal. The word that I'm not catching, what's the word? If you can type the word out in Arabic. No, Bilal, he owned the masjid, right? It's a name, right? Attribution. Okay, al-ard. Al-ard is any form of display or exposure. Here is like the demonstration or the display of the conversation or the class. Now these things, you can use it to represent something specific you are referring to. Like here in the book, they use the word arud to represent the conversation that they have in the beginning of each chapter. In the book that we are using, right, the other one, we use nas, the text. Right, this is the text for the chapter. Here they say this is the display of the chapter. Right, al-ard, the display. So an ard is any form of display, anything that is put out to be exposed. That's an ard. Yeah, a presentation. Here maybe presentation too can be better. But all of that. But they understand the general meaning of the word. When you do ard of something, right, you present it, you display it, you expose it. Right? Mustafa, he say, وَأَيْنَ تُصَلِّي الْفَجْرِ. Note, he didn't mention Fajr, right? وَأَيْنَ تُصَلِّي الْفَجْرِ. And where do you pray al-Fajr? أُصَلِّي الْفَجْرَ في البيت. أُصَلِّي الْفَجْرَ في البيت. I pray al-Fajr in the house. Let's pause for the adhan. Again.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا
So he say, "Usalli al-fajr fil bayt." I pray al-fajr in the house. Mustafa, limadha tusalli al-fajr fil bayt? Limadha means why, right? Why tusalli, you pray, al-fajr, fajr, salah, fil bayt, in the house, in the house. Qusay, he said, La asma'ul adhan. I do not hear the adhan. La negation, right? Asma'u, I hear, right? Al adhan, al adhan. La asma'ul adhan. I do not hear the adhan. Mustafa, he asked, Hal tastayqidhu mutaakhiran? Do you wake mutaakhiran? What's mutaakhiran? Late, right? Do you wake late? Hal tastayqidhu. So tastayqidh means you wake. Mutaakhiran means late. Hal tastayqidhu mutaakhiran. Do you wake late? Right? Makes it a question. Na'am ba'da salat al-fajr. Yes, ba'da salat al-fajr. Yes, after salat al-fajr. That's why he's not hearing the adhan, right? Like one student told the teacher, he never hear that you say as-salatu khayrun min an-nawm for fajr. He never heard it. What is the solution? He just had to wake up a little before the adhan. That's why he never heard it. That was something strange. So Mustafa, he said, Istayqidh mubakkiran. Istayqidh mubakkiran. So now he's commanding him, right? Wake early. Wake early. Note, right? Tastayqidhu, you wake. It's not a weak letter at the end, right? Remember we said the weak letter are alif. I remember broken alif like this on the ladder, right? It's not a verb, but the broken alif is alif. It's a weak letter. Waw and the other one is ya, right? Alif, waw, and ya, those are the weak letters. So if the verb doesn't end with a weak letter, nor a shadda, right? When you're commanding a single person, single male, more specifically, when you're commanding a single male, you're going to see a sukoon at the end. And if you're commanding a single female, it's going to end with a ya and a sukoon. It's going to end with a ya and a sukoon. So here he's commanding Mustafa. Mustafa is commanding Qusay. So he said, Istayqidh mubakkiran. Wake early. La astati. So he's responding, La astati. Astati means I am able to. Right? Astati, I am able. La astati, I am not able. La astati, I am not able. You need another one? What happened? The teacher need one?
No. He just put it in now.
The teacher sent it with you? Where no, you need a high page one. Look, take it back. Look. Come. Make sure you bring it back. So astati' means I am able to, right? I'm going to come back to the question. So astati' means I am able. I am able to. La astati' means I am not able. Right? We in Surah Kahf, right? Innaka lan tastati'a ma'iya sabara, right? When Musa told Khidr that he want to follow him and learn from him, what he said, innaka, inna, verily, ka, you, verily you, lan, will not be able to, lan tastati', right? You will not be able to, innaka lan tastati', right? So, astastati', you are able to, astati', I am able to, lan tastati', you will not be able to, right? Ma'iya sabara, to be patient with me. So he said, La astati'. I am not able. A'malu fil layl. I work in the night. A'malu fil layl. I work in the night. Mustafa, he said, Da'. Da' means what? It's command form. Put or place. Remember we did the word wada'a? Wada'a. What wada'a means? He placed, right? Past tense. Right? He placed or he lowered, right? When we the hadith, inna Allah yarfa'u bihadha al-kitabi aqwaman wa yada'u bihi akharin. Allah elevates with this book peoples and he lowers with it others. And we said the literal meaning for the word is also to put, right? He placed. Now the command for that word is da'. Da', the waw disappeared. Right? That's how those words are. Words that begins with waw, generally when you make the command form from it, the waw disappears. Da'. So he's saying da', put, place, command. Al-munabbih. Al-munabbih is the alarm. Al-munabbih, the alarm. Put the alarm. Bi janibik. Now bi is by, janib is side, ka is your. So bi janibik, by your side. Make sure you write in all the meanings, right? And the full meaning of the sentence. هذه فكرة طيبة. Qusay say هذه, this. Fikra means idea or idea, use idea. Fikra means idea, right? A thought, an idea. It's something it can use to refer to an opinion, but use the word idea or thought is going to be closer to the word in Arabic. You know, afala alladhina وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, right? يَتَفَكَّرُون from the same root. And they reflect and ponder over, they use their thoughts, reflecting and pondering over the heavens and the earth. So هذه فكرة, this is a thought, طيبة, good. This is a good thought, this is a good idea, what's the word I use? Idea, right? This is a good idea. Jazakallahu khaira. Now, Jazakallahu khaira is known, right? How do you translate it? May Allah reward you with good. Now, the literal meaning is Jaza means recompense. He recompense. Ka is you. Allah, right? So Allah recompense you. Khaira with good. Right? May Allah recompense you with good. And we're gonna deal with dua soon, inshallah. Because jazaka literally means he recompensed you, past tense. Right? So here it literally means Allah recompense you with good, past tense. Okay, let me pause there. After the salah, we're going to continue. We have we're going to finish off the hiwar, inshallah. Did we finish the verbs yesterday? Oh, I didn't finish? I didn't finish the chapter yesterday? Oh, I thought I finished. Okay. So then we should, no harm. All right. So we're gonna after salah, inshallah. 5:30. We're gonna continue. And the question we're gonna answer it after, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Okay. So before we go to the next conversation, regarding the word istayqadha, istayqidh, how you know it's not I wake? The first person present tense gonna always have a hamza. That's one. Right? The hamza, hamzatul qata', meaning the hamza that you see the hamza written on it. This here you call it hamza, hamzatul wasl. Right? Just to note, since we're talking hamza, alif is not really considered a letter, a regular letter. It's considered a mad letter. It's used for stretching. So you will never find, anytime there is a vowel on the alif, meaning that stroke, anytime you can pronounce it with a vowel, the accurate thing to call it is hamza. So it's either hamzatul qat' or hamzatul wasl. The connecting hamza or the hamzatul qat', meaning the hamza that you pronounce in any situation, whether you are starting the word or in the middle of the sentence. Now, when it comes to I, the first person for the present tense is always going to be hamzatul qat', meaning the alif with the actual hamza on it. And that is always going to pronounce either with a fatha or either with a dhamma. Right? Either with a fatha or either with a dhamma. Now those are general information. The specific way to know is to know the conjugation of each verb, how each verb conjugates, the system of each verb. So you know when you see it, you know whether it's present tense, past tense, and which person it is. Now, a word like istayqadha, this hamza here in the past tense, if you see this hamza, meaning if you see the hamzatul wasl, the alif without the hamza on it, it's going to be past tense. Because if it's present tense, it's going to get one of the letter of the present tense. And we said the letters of the present tense are hamza for first person, noon, right, first person plural, the ya for the third person, and the ta for the second person, and the sum of the third person feminine. You take a chair. You're out of chairs? Don't sit on the ground. Look, take a chair. Get a chair and sit. Look, there are a lot of chairs. Huh? Where? You got a chair? I'll get the next chair if you need one for your book. Right? And look, there's a desk there. Anybody can use it. Those are general things, right? Those are general things. As you study verbs, you're going to get used to the verbs. And inshallah, I'm going to send out a chart and give everybody a chart with the most famous type of verbs and the main conjugation of it. I'm going to show you how to use it. Inshallah. That's one. So you see, like for example here, astati', right? I am able to. You see the hamza is written there. The second thing with regards to the word jiddan, when I was asked why it's not adjective, right? I mentioned that the word jiddan represents the state of something that is hidden, right? That is understood in the statement. Now that's one of its representation. That's not all of its representation. But in the sentence that we had, it was not, the representation is not state, right? The sentence we had was qalil, I think, right? This one here, ana jaw'an, this one can be the state. Right, but the one with the qalil, where qalilun jiddan, I think that was the word, right? Yeah, it's representing something hidden. It's referring to something hidden in the sentence. But it can be the state, and it can be like for emphasis, and it can be like describing something also. But with regards to qalil, specifically, it was not representing the state. And inshallah, we didn't, like I mentioned, we didn't do state specifically in the book, but we will, we can add it. We can add it at the end of the class, or if we come across something that has it in it, there's something specific they call in Arabic state. If we come across an example, we can break it down, inshallah. And like I said, the main thing is understanding the conversation, the passages, comprehending it. Right? Don't worry too much about the why. The main thing is comprehending it. And if you want to use it back, just copy and paste. Right? Comprehending, not comprehending the why, but comprehending the meaning. Comprehending the meaning. All right? And we gave the example yesterday with you were and you are. Right? You were and you are. Right? If you ask most people, maybe you might be lucky to find somebody who will give you an answer. Why you say you are and you were, even though you're speaking to one person, and are and were is used for plural. Right? Nobody really think about that, but you just know you use you with are and were. But someone who's learning English, and then the first thing they learn is for singular, and are is for plural, and was is for singular, and were is for plural. When they reach you were and you are, it's going to confuse them if they're thinking, why? And they might think the book has a mistake if they don't have a teacher, right? If they don't have a teacher, they're going to think that the book has a mistake if they're learning by themselves. And they think, look, the book have a mistake. It's supposed to be saying you is, right? Because in the beginning of the book, they said you is for singular, and was is for singular, and were and are is for plural. Right? If you put yourself in the person who's learning English, how will you know that? Because there's the same thing we did when we learned in Arabic, right? We try to do analogy with the very basic principles that we start to learn. We try to do analogy and everything, but it don't always work like that. But is there a reason why you say you are and not you is? You are? I mean, you were and not you was, and you are and not you is. There is a reason. All right. So those 2 points, and we're gonna come back to the Jazakallahu Khairan. We're gonna study that more in the book, inshallah. Okay, 42, 54. Let's take the next conversation. Al-Hiwar al-Thani. The second conversation. Unzur wastami' wa'a'id. Right? Look, listen, and repeat. Salih, assalamu alaikum. Isam wa alaikum assalam. Ana musafirun ila Makkah. Ana musafirun ila Makkah. Now, we're going to study another thing here today. it's a branch from what we started the last time with the doer form of the words. Right, so if you need a cup of coffee, today was their day for it. Ooh, I see some of you sleeping. Right, make sure you wake up the brains. So we're going to do some Arabic maths just now. Ana musafirun ila Makkah. Musafir means traveler, right? Musafir means traveler, literally. I'm a traveler to Makkah, right? We're going to keep it like that for now. Now, Makkah is another word that don't take tanween, and also it don't take kasra. And remember we mentioned that a word in a sentence have state, right? Depending on the function it's playing in the sentence. Now, the default for a word that is in the marfu state or the dhamma state is it will take dhamma. And the default for a word that is in the majroor state or the kasra state is that it will take kasra. And the default for a word that is in the mansub state or the fatha state is that it will take fatha. Right? Now, we mentioned also that a word after a preposition takes majroor state, which is kasra, right? The default for kasra. Now, Makkah is in majroor state because it comes after a preposition. The state of the position never change, right? The function of the word, the state of that specific function never changes. So if it's functioning as the doer, it will always be marfu. If it's functioning as the object, it will always be mansub. If it comes after a preposition, it will always be in the state of majroor. Now, the sign of the state might vary depending on the type of the word. A regular word, the sign for the state of majroor is kasra. But this word Makkah is not a regular word. When it's in mansub state or majroor state, it's going to take a fatha. But it's still in majroor state. Now, if all of that confuse you, as I always say, don't worry about any of those. Just know that you say ila makkata, and you don't say ila makkati. Right? That is all you need to know right now. Understand? Good. So if any all of those things, majroor, mansub, all those things sound like gibberish, you don't need any of those right now. Just know that you say ila makkata, and you don't say ila makkati. So he's saying, أنا مسافر إلى مكة. إلى أين أنت مسافر? إلى to أين where أنت you مسافر, right? Traveler. Literally it means to where you are a traveler. To where you are a traveler. Right? We're going to keep it like that translation for now till we're going to explain something later. أنا مسافر إلى المدينة. I'm a traveler to Medina. Right? I know your ears may be sounding strange right now, right? I'm traveler to Medina. لماذا أنت مسافر إلى مكة? Why are you a traveler to Makkah? Right? لماذا why أنت you مسافر traveler إلى to Makkah? Clear? Right? All these words, easy, right? للصلاة في المسجد الحرام. للصلاة for salah. Right? Meaning to pray. Fi in al-masjid al-haram. In the masjid al-haram. Right? Al-masjid, everyone know al-masjid al-haram. The sacred masjid. Right? Al-haram means sacred. The last time we did it means sacred also. Right? Kullu al-muslimi ala al-muslimi haram. All of the Muslim upon the Muslim is haram. Sacred. Right? In the sacred masjid. When you say the sacred masjid, it's referring specific to in Makkah, right? وَلِمَاذَا أَنْتَ مُسَافِرٌ إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ? And why are you a traveler to Medina? Right? You're not going to say to the city or to the Medina. Right? Al-Madina is the name of a city. In English, they call it Medina. Right? When you translate in proper nouns of specific places and people and so, right? Either you use it back or you translate it towards the equivalent in the language, right? لِلصَّلَاةِ فِي الْمَسْجِدِ النَّبَوِي, right? For salah, meaning to pray, in al-masjid al-nabawi, in the prophetic masjid, literally, right? Al-masjid al-nabawi. Here they use the adjective, right? The masjid al-nabawi, the prophetic masjid. Now if you want to say the masjid of the prophet, it's going to be fi masjidin nabi. Right? Because the word prophet is a noun, and then you have prophetic is an adjective. So if you use the adjective, everything got to match up. If you use the noun, then you're going to use the mudaf wal mudaf ilay construction. Clear? Anyone you want to use, you can use. Aina tusalli al-jumu'ah, where you pray al-jumu'ah, right? Where you pray al-jumu'ah, fil masjid al-haram, insha'Allah. Now here he's asking about the future, so you can translate it. Where are you praying al-jumu'ah? Where are you praying al-jumu'ah? Right? The present tense. If it's obviously referring to something in the future, it becomes future tense. The will is understood in it. Fil masjid al-haram, insha'Allah. In the masjid al-haram, insha'Allah. Wa ayna tusalli al-jumu'ah? And he asking Saleh now asking Saleh was asking Isam, now Isam asking Saleh fil masjid al-nabawi insha'Allah. Those are clear, right? Now let's come back to this word musafir. Time to focus. So you have the word kataba, means he wrote, right? And you put it like this, katib. In other words, you put an alif after the first letter, right? And then you put a kasra on the second letter, katibun. This is going to be the writer or the scribe, right? A writer more specific to this word, right? Scribe is a, what do you call it, synonym. And you had words that we know like abada is abid, right? Abada is abid, right? You put the alif after the first, kasra on the second, abid. Is so abada, he worshipped, abid, worshipper. You have talaba, he sought, right? The seeker, talib, right? Seeker of knowledge, talib. You have sajada, means he prostrated. The one who's doing the prostration, sajid, right? Alif after the first. Clear? Right? We did this the last time. Dhahaba. Dhahaba means what? Right? He went. So the person who is going, the goer, right? Went is the past tense for to go, right? They're going to be what do we put? Hadaba? That's why I'm writing it wrong. Dhahaba. Right? He went. So it's going to be dhahib. Right? Dhahib going to be the goer. Right? Dhahib going to be, I think I'm going over the camera there. Let's put this one back at the bottom here. So dhahaba. Dhahaba, he went. The one who, the goer, dhahib. Right? So this is the revision. Now, the doer for a verb in Arabic can be used instead of the verb, the present tense verb. The doer of the verb can be used instead of the present tense verb. In other words, the doer of the verb can be used in the place of a verb. Right? We don't do that in English, really. Or maybe not. Right? The English speaker is going to decide whether. Right? I don't speak English. What I meant. So let's take an easy example. I can say, Anna أذهب إلى السوق. What is the meaning of that? Right? أنا أذهب إلى السوق. إلى السوق. I am going to the market. Right? Let me put this one over here. All right, take the next one. Muhammad. What are we going to say for Muhammad? يذهب, right? Conjugation. يذهب. What's the meaning of conjugation? Meaning when you put the verb in a different forms, right? That's conjugation. Muhammad يذهب إلى السوق. Right? This is a scene here, right? What is the meaning of that? Muhammad is going to the market. Clear so far? Right? Muhammad is going to the market. Now we said the doer can be used instead of the verb. So here you can say أنا ذاهب, right, إلى السوق. And you can say Muhammad ذاهب إلى السوق. So أنا ذاهب إلى السوق. What's the meaning? I'm going to the market. Literally, I'm a goer to the market. Right? Muhammad is a goer to the market. Muhammad is going to the market. Clear? Muhammad is going to the market. I'm going to the market.
What was the first one again?
Huh?
What was the first one? First person one again?
I don't understand.
What was the first one again? What was the meaning?
I am going to the market. أنا ذاهب إلى السوق. أنا أذهب إلى السوق is the same as أنا ذاهب إلى السوق. Or أنا ذاهب إلى السوق is the same as أنا أذهب إلى السوق. I am going. I am going is what? Huh? Yeah, it can be present or it can be future. Because you didn't mean in this usage. But right now, for this specific example, it's present. I am going. Right, meaning I'm going now to the market. No. It's not the same thing. Right? So, أنا أذهب إلى السوق. I am going to the market. أنا ذاهب إلى السوق. I am going to the market. You can use any one you want. Right? Now, there are some conditions when you can use it and how to use it. But we're not going to get into that. Okay, remember this whole thing in introduction, right? One of these classes normally take a whole week. But I'm going to give you a small clue to use in the meanwhile. And this is the vast majority of Arabs, they use these statements right? Some of them are going to say ana adhab, some of them are going to say ana dhahib. Which one you use? Huh? How you say I'm going to the masjid? Huh? But if you ask them what are the conditions, they don't know what's no condition, right? Now, how to know when it's gore and when it's going? When you translate it, this is just for the basics, right? When you translate it, which one more suit the context? Which one more suit the context and have a more, what do you call it, upright meaning? That's going to give you the idea, okay, translate it as a verb or translate it as a noun. Because I'm a goer to the masjid, right? Doesn't suit the context. Right? Someone wants to say he's going to the masjid. I am goer to the masjid. Doesn't suit the context. That's for now. Right now, remember, he said he's just introducing this usage. And this is throughout in the Quran. For example, Surah Baqarah, the word, we have the word ja'ala. What's the meaning of the word ja'ala? Right? Ja'ala can mean he made. Right? Ja'ala can mean he made. Now, the dual form for ja'ala going to be ja'il. Like in Surah Baqarah, inni وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. Right? Literally, I am maker in the earth a khalifa. But it's used as a verb here, meaning I'm making a khalifa on the earth. I'm putting a khalifa on the earth. So the doer form being used as a verb in the place of a verb, saying that you're doing something. Understand? Saying that you're doing something. Now with a lot of examples, it's going to become clear. You don't try to understand it from all the angle 100%, one shot. Not going to happen. And with a lot of examples, it's going to become clear. Now, let me go to the example from the book now. Somebody take a good picture of this. Huh? You get? Okay. Right? We're going to send the pictures to the sisters if they didn't get to write. Now, the last one, that was the doer for the three-letter verbs, right? Three-letter verbs without any weak letter and without any shadda. Now, if you have more than three letters, if the verb has more than three letters, how are you going to know? Look at the past tense. Remember that, right? Now let's give some random examples of words that have more than three letters. You have the word aslama. Now these are the easiest word to deal with, meaning if it has more than three letters. So that's one. Aslama. How many letters you have? 4, right? Now this is past tense, right? Aslama, past tense. Now it has an alif here. How you know that it's past tense and it's not a present tense for I? You just got to learn the words for now, right? Just got to learn the words for now. Because remember, you won't see this with tashkil really. In a book, you're going to see Hamza, Sin, Lam, Mim. Right? So you have to know all the possibility of reading that word. But if it's pronounced as aslama, it's a past tense verb. It's a past tense verb meaning what? He, right? He submitted or accepted Islam, right? Right? Aslam means he became Muslim. Another example of a more than 3-letter verb, you have the word allama. What's the meaning of allama? He thought, right? How do you spell thought? You sure it's thought? Not thought. Thought is from think. Thought, T-A-U-G-H-T. Right? How many letters we have? 4, right? 1, Islam is double. 2, 3, and the meme, 4. You have the word safara. What does it mean of safara? He traveled, right? He traveled. How many letters do we have there? 4, right? All these are 4 letters still. This one? The lam is twice, remember? Shad. Yeah, the shadda means 2 lam. Safara, he traveled. Now we take one more. Istayqadha. Istayqadha. What's the meaning of istayqadha? Right? He woke. He woke. Right? There's how many letters we get there? Huh? 6. Right? 6 letters. Now, like I said, these words are the easiest words to deal with. There are any word looking like this, going to follow the pattern that we give you. Now, what's the present tense? What's the present tense for these words? Aslama means he accepted Islam or he submitted. Now, he submits, going to be yuslimu. Yuslimu. He submits, right? Or he accepts Islam or he is accepting Islam, right? Remember he said that with the S, the verb with the S or the ing in Arabic is the same. Context, you're going to determine how you translate it. He comes and he is coming, both is huwa ya'ti. Huwa ya'ti, he comes and he is coming. Or depending on the context, you're going to translate it to suit. The present tense for he taught. His teaching going to be yu'allimu. Yu'allimu. He is traveling going to be yusafiru. And he is waking or he wakes is yastayqidhu. 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 Right? Yeah. All of them has a dhamma. But remember 2 things. Remember the default, you don't see vowels. right? So leaving out the vowel in the writing doesn't affect the word in any way. And the second thing is when you're speaking or you're writing, when you're reading, you stop on the last vowel. So if I say yuslim, it's the same as yuslimu. Yu'allim is the same as yu'allimu. Yusafir is the same as yusafiru in this context. It's just that I didn't pronounce it in vowel, right? Yuslim, if I say yuslim in a context where it's supposed to be yuslima, it's going to still be correct. It's just I didn't pronounce the last vowel. The main thing is that you stop on the word. But if you don't stop, if you're reading out the sentence and you didn't pronounce it, right, then that's the problem. That is where you can cause some confusion. So here is he teaches. Here is he travels. And here is he wakes, right? Or he's waking, or he's traveling, or he's teaching, or he is submitting. Now, any word looking like these is going to be like this. So, aslama, yuslimu, always going to be dhamma, right? For the present tense. Allama, yu'allimu, safara, yusafiru, istayqadha, yastayqidhu. No, this one has fatha. You just got to realize the way of the verb, right? But the good thing is, any word looking like this. So, aslama, you have word like ahsana, going to be yuhsinu, right? Another word, ajlasa, yujlisu. Another word. Huh? Af'ala, yuf'ilu. Amana, right? Is officially yu'minu or yu'minu. Right? That one is a little tricky because of the hamza. Allama, yu'allimu. Kabbara, yukabbiru. Sabbaha, yusabbihu. Right? Yusabbihu Allah, sabbaha lillah. What other word? Kallama, yukallimu. Right? Always gonna, it's all the present tense, always gonna follow the pattern. Safara, yusafiru. Jahada, yujahidu. Qatala, yuqatilu. Daraba, yudaribu. Shajara, yushajiru. Any word looking like this, the present tense is going to be like this. Istayqadha, yastayqidhu. Istaghfara, yastaghfiru. Istakhraja, yastakhriju. Now you got to again memorize it like that, right? Memorize it. Allama yu'allimu, allama yu'allimu, aslama yuslimu. So the pattern going to be registered in your head. So anytime you come across the present tense, you're going to automatically know what's the past tense. And anytime you come across the past tense, you're going to automatically know what is the present tense. Don't just understand it, memorize it, right? Memorize it like that. Now, we're going to come back to these two in other classes. But now, the doer form, that's what we want here. The doer form. The doer form for a word other than the three-letter words, right? We finished with the three-letter words for now, right? And remember we said those are the three-letter words that don't have a weak letter at the end, nor a shadda. Right? If there's a weak letter in the word or there is a shadda in the word, sorry, they don't have a weak letter in the word, in the middle or the end, nor a shadda. There's going to be some variation in the way it looks. We're going to give examples of those later on. We just want the original forms. Now, to form the doer of any word apart from the three-letter words, the first thing you do is take out the letter that is for the present tense, right? The ya. Take out the ya. So if you take out the ya of this here, you end up with Yuslimu. Right? Yuslimu. Correct? How you pronounce it? Uslimu. Right? But there's no U. Right? And then you add a meme with a dhamma. Now remember, this is a noun. Doers are noun. So now it's going to take a tanween as a default, right? So you end up with what? Muslim. And just make sure that the second to last has a kasra. You have to make sure that it has a kasra. Clear? Now this is just going through the, what do you call it? This is just going through the steps. When you get accustomed to it, you look at here, aslama, you're going to know the doer form for it is Muslim, right? You just add a meme and change this one to kasra, Muslim. Right? That does give you the full step. But when you get accustomed to it, you can form it straight without going through all the steps. So now if you do the same to this, right? So if you take out the ya and putting a meme with a dhamma, you're going to end up with, right? Mu'allim. And make sure here there's a kasra. Mu'allimun. You take out the ya, you're going and put in the meme with a dhamma, you end up with Musafir. Take out the ya, put in a meme, you end up with Mustayqidh. Right? Mustayqidh. So literally Muslim, submitter, muallim, teacher, musafir, traveler, mustayqiz, waker. Right? Now remember we said the doer form of the word can be used instead of the verb. Now if you look back at the passage, right? Here he's saying what? Ana musafirun ila Makkah. I am a traveler to Makkah. But what he meant? I am traveling to Makkah. Now how you know when I'm a traveler and I'm traveling? Right, the context. That is what we're sticking to right now. We don't want all the conditions and all of those things. Right? I am traveler, I'm traveling to Makkah. And he's saying I'm traveling to Medina. Right? That's the language. The language, they use the doer in the place of a verb. And as we come across it, we're gonna point it out. Adam, you can put on the light. Put it on. This guy is getting dark. The third and the fourth switch from your right. Yeah. Right? لماذا أنت مسافر? Right? Not why you are a traveler to Makkah. Why are you traveling to Makkah? So just use the context for now. Just use the context for now. And this is going to help you with two things. Not falling into confusion, trying to make sense out of a statement, right? You're trying to understand why is it they have a doer. And the second, it fast forward your understanding of the language. So now, one of these words, if you come across one of these words alone, you automatically build 3 different vocabs. Right? So let's see a word that we, yesterday we did the word yakhdhul or yahqir. Remember, we did the word yahqir. What is the meaning of yahqir? Right, to belittle. Right, la yahqiruhu. He doesn't belittle him. So if you come across a sentence, Ahmad حاقر محمد محمدا. Now you don't know the structure of the sentence, how to form it, right? You don't know how they get this formation. But understanding what we just did, you can figure out the meaning. Now haqir, you know haqir shape on the door form of the three-letter verb. Right? So if yahqir means he belittles, haqir literally going to mean the belittler. So we have Ahmad, belittler, and you have Muhammad. Now Ahmad is the belittler, Muhammad, right? There's no of construction here, right? Because Muhammad doesn't have tanween kasra. So where it's going to mean? Ahmad is belittling Muhammad, right? The word is being used as a verb, right? Ahmad is belittling Muhammad. Now if you say Ahmad haqiru Muhammadin, you're going to mean Ahmad is the belittler of Muhammad. He's the one that was belittling Muhammad. Understand? If I was to say, let's say you came across a sentence. Huh? Right, so we mentioned just now, let's say you have a sentence, Ahmad haqirun Muhammadan. So you know haqir is the door form for yahqir, which is going to mean belittler, literally. But if you say Ahmad haqirun Muhammadan, saying Ahmad belittler Muhammad is not what you call it. It doesn't synchronize with the sentence. That's the easiest way right now to figure out that what is meant is the verb. Ahmad is belittling Muhammad. Ahmad is belittling Muhammad. Now let's say you come across the word mujrim, right? This word is a lot in the Quran, right? Mujrim. And you want to know what's the meaning of mujrim, but you're not finding mujrim in the dictionary. What are you going to look for? Huh? Which one? Which word are you going to look for? What's the verb? Huh? You're not making use of the knowledge you just learned. If you say you're going to use jaram, why are you going to use jaram to figure out what's mujrim? Huh? You're going to use ajram, because jaram give you jarim. Jaram will have give you jarim. Mujrim is in what shape? It's in the door shape of like Muslim. Mujrim is like Muslim. So if Muslim goes back to Aslam, then Mujrim going to go back to Ajram. So if you want to find what's the meaning of Mujrim and you're not finding the word Mujrim, you're going to look for the word Ajram. You understand? That's another benefit of this. Right? You're not finding Mujrim, or you don't understand what's Mujrim, look for the verb of it. But you have to look for the verb of that specific word. Now, as we come across more and more, you're going to get accustomed to the formation of the words. Okay, let's the hiwar, the third hiwar. We're going to leave the third hiwar for tomorrow. Let's go to the Let's finish off the book, inshallah. Okay, let's go to the book. And these we're gonna review them, inshallah. We're gonna keep reviewing them. Like I keep saying, right? If it's new, you gotta give it time. There's nothing strange about not getting it for force, or everything looked confusing or anything like that. Mujrim means criminal. Right? From ajram means to commit a crime. He committed a crime. So the one who committed a crime is a mujrim. Okay, some examples of the second person. Right? I think this is where we have, right? Ya Ahmad, hal alimta al-yawma عطلة هل علمت اليوم عطلة. Where is it? No, that's supposed to be عطلة, right? Make sure you change that. هل علمت اليوم عطلة هل علمت اليوم عطلة. Did you know today is a holiday? Right? The point is, you speaking to Ahmad and you ask him if he knew, right? If he knew. Hal alimta. Right? Now, did you know? The did there is what we're making it past tense. Remember in English, in Arabic you say hal alimta. Literally, did you knew. But in English you don't say did you knew. You say did you know. So don't confuse that the Arabic is saying past and the English have present, right? It's the did that is representing the past. Ya Ahmad, hal ta'lam man fil bayt. O Ahmad, do you know who is in the house? Present, right? Hal ta'lam man fil bayt. You can left from... Okay. Hal ta'lam man fil bayt. Do you know who is in the house? Right? So alimt ta'lam. هل تعلم من في البيت. يا طلاب, now you're speaking to the students. هل علمتم, right? Did you know? اليوم عطلة tan again, right? There's supposed to be tan. اليوم عطلة tan. Did you know today is a holiday? اليوم عطلة, not عطلة. Did you know today is a holiday? هل تعلمون من في المكتب. Speaking to the students. هل تعلمون. You focusing? Or are you sleeping? You sure? هل تعلمون من في البيت. Do you know who is in the... Sorry. هل تعلمون من في المكتب. Do you know who is in the library? يا أحمد wa Muhammad. Now you're speaking to Ahmad and Muhammad. Hal alimtuma man fil bayt. Right? Hal alimtuma. Did the two of you know who is in the house? Hal alimtuma. Right? So the two of you know. Alimtuma. Sorry, the two of you knew. Alimtuma. But you use it in the past with the did. In English, you keep it as no. So did you two know who is in the house, right? So the two of you knew. The verb by itself is alimtuma. The two of you, let's use one of these, accepted Islam. You can say aslam tuma. The two of you thought, right? On the board. So the two of you accepted Islam. Aslam tuma. The two of you taught. علمتما. The two of you traveled. سافرتما. The two of you woke. استيقظتما. Right? استيقظتما. Now the present tense. O Ahmad and Muhammad, do you know who is in the house? Ya Ahmad wa Muhammad, hal ta'lamani man fil bayt? Hal ta'lamani man fil bayt? Now why is it you change? Excuse me. You add an alif and a noon. Right, you add an alif and a noon, the second to last, and the last vowel, meaning the vowel before the alif, you change it to fatha, right? Hal ta'lamani. Now, just note something quickly. Now, if you were, now, you see on the board, you have, for the present tense of aslama is yuslimu, right? Yuslimu. So now, by knowing that the present tense of aslama is yuslim, you know that all the present tense, the first vowel, the first letter has to have a dhamma. The first vowel has to have a dhamma. It's not going to change. No allama, yu'allimu. You know that the first vowel is going to be dhamma. Right? Safara, yusafiru. The first vowel is going to be a dhamma. Istayqadha, yastayqidhu, the first letter, right, is going to have a dhamma. The first vowel going to have, fatha, right? So now, if you got to apply ta'lamani to these, you're not going to change yuslim to taslim. No. You're going to say yuslimani. You're going to say yuslimani. I'm sorry, tuslimani. You're going to say tuslimani. You're not going to change the dhamma to fatha. Right? Why we have a fatha here? Because this is conjugating a three-letter verb. Right? This is conjugating a three-letter verb. Confusing? Don't worry. We're going to go over it next day. Who get it? Get it. We're going to go over it. Let's digest. Right? So, yu'allimu, if you want to say the two of you are teaching, it's going to be tu'allimani. Tu'allimani. Yusafiru, the two of you are traveling, going to be tusafirani. Yastayqidhu, now this one has a fatha. So, the two of you are waking, going to be tastayqidhani. Tastayqidhani. Alright, if it didn't digest, don't worry, let's settle. We can go over it another time. Like I tell you, this is the most, verbs in Arabic generally is the most complicated thing to deal with. And then after verbs, maybe it's numbers. Right? Now we have ta'lamani alimti. You feminine, ya Maryam. So if you're speaking to Maryam, you're going to say, hal alimti al yawma utlatan. Right? All of these here, if you know today is a holiday, it's supposed to be utlatan, right? Utlatan, utlatan. Ya Maryam, hal alimti al yawma utlatan. Right? Do you know today is a holiday? So you're speaking to Maryam, you say, hal alimti. Now, there's if you're asking her if she knew something. If you're asking her if she knows something, you're going to say, hal ta'lamina. Right? When you're speaking to her, hal ta'lamina. Man fil bayt. Okay. This one repeated here.
What's the فتحتين دول الياء المريم?
What's the what?
فتحتين. What represent the ياء المريم?
The fathatain.
Yeah.
There's a fatha in there. No, that is a typo. Ya Maryam. Right? Ya Maryam. Ya Maryam, Ya Maryam. I think this one repeated here, right? Right? I see in right? So they get 2 lines repeated. Now you're speaking to more than one female. Oh sisters, right? Why this whole sentence flip wrong like this? Sisters, did you know today is a holiday? What happened here? That ain't typo. That is some what you call it? The format, the right to left formatting may be flip wrong here. Right? So you're gonna fix up that sentence. Oh sisters, did you know today is a holiday? Right, when you switch in between Arabic English, you gotta switch the text direction, right to left, left to right. Ya akhawat, hal alimtunna, right? Hal alimtunna liyawma utla. It's past 6:30 already. Ya akhawat, hal ta'lamna man fil bayt. So this alimtunna, oh sisters, you knew, right? Alimtunna, you knew, alimtunna. Oh sisters, you know, ta'lamna. Oh sisters, you know, ta'lamna. Right? Now these things take a while to digest, memorize. The first stage is understanding it, not understanding why, understanding the meaning, right? And then the second stage, you try to memorize one table, cram one table. First person, alimtu, I knew, a'lamu, I know, alimtu ma fi sunduk, right? I knew what is in the box. A'lamu anna Allaha wahid. I know indeed Allah is one. Alimna ma fi sunduk. We knew what is in the box. Na'lamu anna al-Islam haq. We know Islam, indeed Islam is the truth. Right? Read and study the examples from the Quran. Wa ra'ayta, right? And you saw. La a'budu, right? I worship. La a'budu, I do not worship. Ma ta'budun, right? You see, ta'budun, you are worshipping. Amanu, they believe. Alimu, amalu, they did or they worked righteous deeds. A'tayna, we give, right? A'tayna, the ka is you. Ja'altu, I made. Right? Ja'altu, I made for him, lahu malan mamduda. Let's just run through this quickly and we're going to review it, inshallah. Note when both genders are involved, the masculine form of the verb is applied. That is clear, right? The conjugation of a verb may vary in certain aspects depending on its time, like what we explained on the board, right? You get some slight variation depending on the type, right? The general principle of the conjugation is the same. What might change? For the present tense, is just whether it's a dhamma or a fatha, right? The ending is the same thing. That's generally what's going to change, right? Benefit in Arabic, the past tense verb can be used to make dua and establish future events. In these cases, it is utilized to emphasize certainty in the occurrence of an action or express optimism regarding its occurrence, as in the supplication. And this is throughout the Quran. Right? If Allah used the past tense to talk about the day of judgment, it's to show certainty as if it's already happened. It's without doubt going to happen. So certain like if it's already happened. Right? Like somebody tell you, I need your help tomorrow. And you say, done. You done help him? No. You want to emphasize that you're going to help him. It's done. Right? I need you to clean my yard. It's done. Right? Clear? Now in dua, it's used for optimism. So for example, if you say, Razaqaka Allahu malan, it literally means Allah provided you wealth. So someone has a lot of wealth, you can tell them, MashaAllah, Allah razaqaka Allahu malan. MashaAllah, razaqaka Allahu malan. Right? MashaAllah, Allah has provided you wealth. And you use the same statement if you want to make dua for the person. You say Allah razaqaka, you say razaqaka Allahu malan, right? You say razaqaka Allahu malan. And then you end with Ameen, meaning may Allah provide you with wealth. Now the context, you're going to know from the context whether what is meant is a dua or whether what is meant is a statement. And sometimes in the Quran, it can mean both, right? It can mean both. It's a dua against them and also a statement that something occurred. Huh? Yeah, the same construction. So like we say, Razaqaka Allahu ma'lan means, it can mean Allah provided you wealth, you're informing the person, or you're making dua for the person. Why they use the past tense? As a mean of optimism, right? As if you're making dua for the person, but you're optimistic that it's going to happen, right? Similarly to the statement of Allah concerning the Day of Judgment, وَبُرِّزَتِ الْجَحِيمُ لِمَنْ يَرَى literally mean hell was exposed for those who see, right? But it implies hell will be exposed, definitely be exposed for those who see, talking about the Day of Judgment. And like we mentioned, Jazakallahu khairan literally means Allah recompense you with good. Allah rewarded you with good, right? But you're making dua, so it means may Allah reward you with good, but use the past tense as a means of optimism. That's why you use the past tense for the dua. Now that's one of the way of making dua. You can use the present tense, like when you say Yarhamukallah, right? May Allah have mercy upon you. So we're gonna pause here, inshallah. We are officially finished. If anyone needs to leave, other than that, any questions? And we're gonna close off, inshallah. Next class, we're going to review, right? We're going to review, inshallah. We have today, this is how many weeks we finished? 2 weeks. Right, we're on lesson 7. We have to reach we have 6 more lessons. No, we have 7 more lessons. Inshallah. We're gonna, how many weeks remaining? 3 weeks? Right? 3 weeks remaining. So we're gonna review, inshallah, before we Miskin is singular, masakin is plural. Miskin, singular, masakin, plural. Miskin is not like Muslimin. The word is like that. Miskinun. Haram. Haram, yeah. One of the meaning is sacred, another meaning is prohibited. Yeah. The context. Like if you say maluhu haram, his wealth is sacred, and it can mean it's prohibited, meaning for you to take. Yeah. With regards to miskin, no, it's not a collective noun. It's just, the word is just like that. You have some words that resembles, the structure of the words resemble the plural, but the word is a singular. So you can say, ana miskin, I am miskin, I am poor. Huwa miskin, he is poor. And masakin gonna be nahnu masakin, we are poor. What is plural for poor? We are poor. We are poors. Right? Hum masakin, they are poor people. You gotta add something. But that's the word. You have words like a lot of words like that. Shut down somebody. Today's shut down and pack up. So we good? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The key keyboard give me the other one, and it come on use,
Huh?
the keyboard give me what the other letters, and it come on use.
No, the same USB control all to one time.
Oh.
Yeah, the same USB. It's the two of them come to make sure you don't give away one and keep back one. Yeah, both of them is